Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys example, okay, of what I was talking about trading, that repetition is probably one of the most important things in trading, and I'm gonna show you just an example of it, okay. What I did, guys, I bought this toy, okay, as you could see. It was a few months ago, okay, and I was assembling it, right? You could see that there's uh, two directions where you can actually push the car down, right? It goes up from this direction. It either goes to the red side, it either goes to the yellow side, right? Makes sense. So when I was assembling it, right, I'm assembling each one of them separately. Does that make sense? You can assemble both at the same time, but when I was assembling this, I was the yellow part or the red part, doesn't matter. I was having tough time, right? Because each of them you can assemble them separately, but I was having such a tough time, putting it together. Let me tell you this, I'm not a handyman, okay? I'm looking at the papers and all that. I just kind of give up on the paper. I'm like, I'm just gonna do it on my own. So I was assembling this yellow side, or it doesn't matter, yellow or red side, right? Putting all these together, I had literally spent like 15 minutes on assembling. Okay, this is good. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. Then I was trying to. These are little parts. These are little connections that you see in there, right? Little connections, and you're getting in. Combining together. See the little joint in here. Little joint in here. So I was trying to figure it out, and it took me 15-20 minutes, right, for the first part, right? Then I'm like, okay, thank God I got it, right? Guess what? How long did it take me for the second part? This one, literally 5 minutes. And why is that, guys? Okay, and it has something to do with trading. It has something to do with going to school. It has something to do with doing something totally new out of nowhere, right? If nobody gives in education, nobody gives you a direction, right, and nobody tells you this is how you're gonna do it, obviously you're gonna have hard time. Okay, so I didn't obviously follow the papers. Even if I did follow the papers, right, even if I did follow the directions on assembling, how am I going to assemble this yellow side, right? How am I going to assemble this red side? I just had no clue. But I assembled the first one, right, and I worked hard at it, and I told myself, okay, I'm gonna get the other side down less than what I did for the first, less time than what I did for the first part of it, and assemble it just like that. So going back into trading works the same way, guys. Okay, when you look at a chart, okay, when you're looking at a chart, and when you are looking at chart over and over, over and over, over and over, you kind of get the sense of the chart, how the price action is working, right? There's nothing that's gonna tell you that that it's gonna come to you right away. You look at a trade, like you look, for instance, you look at this little bit of a basing pattern, right? In a 3 minute doesn't matter, hourly doesn't matter, but what matters is that you repeatedly seeing that pattern and repeatedly seeing it work. And if it works, right, if this pattern works first time, you somehow get used to seeing this pattern over and over. Where you see this same pattern somewhere else, you see that big move up, same pattern goes up. Let me see if there's another pattern in here. You see that little pattern right there, right? See that little pattern right there, goes up, basis goes up, bunch of other, there's these patterns. There's just one type of pattern, right? This pattern right there goes up, basis goes up. So what I'm trying to show you, not trying to sell you the toy, not trying to sell you anything, all I'm trying to show you is repetition, repetition, repetition. Okay, you see something, you make your notes, you write it down, you tell yourself, okay, this is how I saw it happening, unfolding. You don't just tackle it second time, you don't just tackle it third time, you're gonna repeat it over and over, over and over. What the problem with the traders is, most of them, they think they got it. Okay, they really think they got it, and they go in there, start trading, and they might have few sim trades, and they're ready to take on the battle of this trading world, and they're, oh, I got it, I know how to work this up. And they start taking the trade after maybe a couple of them experiencing a couple of the good trades, and then there goes all their effort, whatever they did for a few days, few months, goes down to the ditch, right? Because they didn't practice enough. So if you want to do something consistently. If you really want to trade, don't go out and start buying huge quantities of the stock. Okay, always have some kind of track record. Okay, this is what I did. Okay, this is how I was successful in it. This is, I saw a head and shoulder pattern and I applied it to, 4 to 6 charts, and I'm ready to test it out on with a real trade. Okay, exact same pattern. If 4 out of 5 didn't work, why was the one that didn't work? Wrong timing, wrong direction. It could be the news event that came out that pushed the prices up or down against your against where you wanted the price to go. So all that matters. So me showing you that toy, it's not just about okay, how to fix a toy or how to assemble a toy. It's about looking at it and learning from it. I did the first side correctly, and 15 took me 15-20 minutes, even though it was correctly, but it took me a while. This other side of it shouldn't take me that long, right? So repetition matters, and if I were to assemble third, fourth, fifth, sixth toy, I'll probably set them all up in a lot less of a time than it would be comparing to the first time, right? So just a little analogy, right? It doesn't have to be trading. You can apply to any kind of event in the life. First baby we had tough time, right? We had really tough time, what to do when the baby cries. Even though I'm a respiratory therapist, I work with the babies, right? I work in the neonatal intensive care unit, but it's still that feeling, the overwhelming feeling. Okay, the baby's crying. Why is it crying? Is the diaper wet? Is the I don't know if the baby's hungry, right? So all that instances. So second baby, piece of cake, right? No wonder why people have 4 to 6 babies and they just keep on doing back to back. It's so easy, right? I mean, literally, it's at that point, it's like, whatever, I don't care. First one, you were like all disciplined. This is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna feed the baby. But at 2, 3, 4, fifth, sixth baby, you're like, whatever. It doesn't matter. Baby's gonna grow just like everybody else grew. So it's just little things, and you can apply all that to the trading. It's important that trading doesn't come overnight, and what you need is somebody holding your hand and saying, this is exactly how you're gonna follow. There are a bunch of resources out there. Everything is free, but if somebody can't get you to feel that, get over your fear, emotion, and the greed, it defeats the purpose. I don't care how good you are, right? I don't care how much you make, but if you really can't make somebody understand that how trading works, you're no good than somebody who's starting out. I mean, that's just my thought at it. And if you can convince your way out and say, the way I look at it, when I look at the chart, when I explain the chart, and when I explain the whole price action, I explain it in a way where if you were to tell somebody, you were to teach somebody, you can confidently do that, okay? And it's not about making money, like I said, but it's about you understanding the whole price action of the chart. We talked about this. We call this trade out. High the day, gave a whole dollar on it, right? We talked about what's the mentality behind it, right? I'm gonna go into the too much of the detail because obviously this is for the members, right? But it's important that you understand how the psychology behind this whole chart is, right? Who's in control, who's not in control, and other factors like your time and the events, the news, etc., etc. So hopefully that kind of puts into perspective that trading is not a piece of cake. It's not something that you can do overnight. It takes years and years of practice, and even if you're at it, you still have to experience a lot of stuff that didn't happen. Till that happens, you don't have experience, but you are prepared with your stops every single time. They are your best friends. Okay. Anyways, guys, I'm just gonna stop this.